everybody. It's Motzi Shabbos, and look, I haven't been completely honest with everybody. I keep saying I'm not a cabalist. I'm not just a simple Jew who is very student of the Kabbalists. But it's time to reveal His Majesty Betzalel, the Kabbalist, Messiah. Time will tell. However, depends how you define Messiah. It would be good if I could be the Messiah of my kitchen. That's a start. You want to be the Messiah, you want to be a Kabbalist, start with the kitchen. And the honest thing I want to tell you is I am a Kabbalist. Sorry to say. A little ashamed to say. I'm a Kabbalist. It's something usually people keep secret, but it's been 20, 30 years, and I finally just admit it. If the shoe fits, wear it. So, but the other thing, the problem is that like in Jerusalem, like you got like 5,000 Kabbalists here, and like it's low man on the totem pole here. You got Rav Shabazi and Rav Sharabi and Rav Kabazi and Rav Za'afani and Rav Falzani and all these, there's some very great ones, and there's a lot of, kakof bifnei adam in Hebrew. It means like a monkey before a man, it says in the Talmud. You don't have to look at it negatively, look at it positively. There's Nevi'im and Bnei Nevi'im, prophets and not students of the prophets. There's the prophets, and they have their students. We don't have prophets in our generation. We have I don't like this word cabalist. We got to throw that word out of the language already. It's just like cabalist, cabbies. Shlomo Carlebach used to call them cabbies. There's a makubal or something. Very, people want to be somebody. They want to make their mark. The person who has annihilated his ego and achieved a certain level of illumination, he can wear the crown, but he doesn't want to wear the crown. It says in the Christian Bible, it says, "En navi be'iro." There's no prophet in his town. Now, the funny thing is about that is I generally don't quote the Christian Bible because I'm a Jew and I'm not as interested in the Christian Bible by any means as I am in the Hebrew Bible, but also not afraid of the Christian Bible. We're all God's children. This is Judeo-Christian tradition. Esav and Yaakov were twins; they were brothers. Esav Christianity and Yaakov Judaism. But now at midnight, it's time to reveal the secret of that. It says, the funny thing is, like all these Israelis all over the place, and me too, my late wife and me, my late wife, I learned Hebrew from her, so she said, like it says, En Navi Biro, because I was like, I just finished rabbinical school, and, well, whatchamacallit, and I okay, rabbi in search of a community, put a shingle out, send out your CV and all this stuff. And it was very frustrating. Eventually, I was kvetching to my late wife, and Ilana said back to me, "En navi biro." So what does that mean? She says, it means that the community chooses the rabbi. The rabbi doesn't choose the community. The community chooses the rabbi. You don't choose your community. They will choose you. Like, wow. I'm walking around, and occasionally I throw that expression here. I learn a new Hebrew slang expression, whatever, or slang or whatnot. And went to the rabbi of the Mosheva Germanit, a great one of the Klirs, Rabbi Klirs here in Jerusalem. He's a wonderful man, a real scholar, and a real good rabbi. And I said that expression to him, "En navi bi'iro," and he says, "You know where that expression comes from?" I'm like, it's like maybe the Tanakh, Talmud, Tanakh, I don't know. He said, it's from the Christian Bible. Okay, so I looked it up, and in fact he was right. And then it says it's loosely based on the story of Elisha, one of the stories about Elisha going to this town and whatnot. And okay, so if you want to, you want to be a cabalist. So what you got to do, kids, young people with promise, and people with abilities, and people who want to help. First of all, you want to help the world. First, help yourself, and then you can help the world. Sometimes you help the world, and that helps yourself. But I generally say you work on yourself, and then when you're ready, you move forward. So here I am. I just want to reveal, please God, let it be permitted in this low world we live in. Please God, give me the permission to reveal a secret, and if it's not your will, please take the words out of my mouth, because I only want to do your will, and I don't want my will to be I don't want your will to be a garment for my will. I want my will to be a garment for your will. And may it be your will that is the words of my. May it be your will that the words of my mouth. That the words of my mouth and the thoughts of my heart be pleasing before you. Amen. So here's the secret. This is how a cabalist does the dishes. Take the ladle out of the way. Clean ladle. Is there some kind of a light above my head? That's strange. I didn't see that before. Walking around here in the dark, right? Wait a second. And it was revealed in Jerusalem that the Kabbalists' sink was a mess. So what did he do? He prayed to the Lord. The Lord worked a miracle for him. That lazy SOB got up and he did his dishes. So this is how you do it. You like this. Take the spatula, and you got your red meat Scotch pad. How do you call these things? Scotch Brite is the brand name. Okay. Scotch Brite. Yeah. Second. Got your this is what you got. So you want to be a cabalist, you got first thing is to do your dishes. Right? Also, according to the Torah, you don't have to wear a kippah when you do the dishes. If you want to be strict to wear a kippah all the time, that's fine. But it's not obligatory to wear a kippah while you do the dishes. It's a German custom. German Jewish. Jewish, German, German, Jewish. So I have a part of this heritage. So you go this meat, dairy, green. You have a green pad to wash your milk utensils. You have a red pad for your meat utensils. You do, you take the pad like this. Pad is Pei Aleph Dalet. Put some soap on it. Soap is Samach Vav Pei, right? Soap is the Ansof. Samach Vav Pei, soap. So Pei Dalet is Tikkun Abris, is rectifying intimate relationships. It's to do with Pei Dalet, 84. Not 80, yeah, 84. You want to know what that means? means, the Sod of 84? You want to know? You want to know? Really? So, I'll tell you. Get in line. It's a long line. But if you're holy enough, you'll get in. So, I like this. Pay down. So in the Ein Sof, in the infinite, you have everything, right? Oh, you know, when you're learning Kabbalah, you should put a kippah, because Torah. The reason why you always wear a kippah is because then you're really into the Torah, you like to talk about God and spirituality. Or you might want to eat something and say a blessing, so it's on your head, you don't have to worry about it. However, if you're more rigorous with yourself, you don't wear a kippah, because you know that you're on the level where you can control your speech, control your behavior enough to know when to put the kippah on and when to take it off. Higher level. The lower level is I'm a weak person. I know I put it on because I know I don't want to get in trouble. You know, God. You know what happens? You don't wear a kippah. The lightning bolt comes down and goes. Well, not exactly a lightning bolt. Sun ray. If you don't wear a kippah, you might get you're bald like me. You get a sunburn. So that's why you always keep a hat on your head so you don't get a sunburn, right? Milk, meat. Dalit, rectifying Yesod, the foundation in the infinite. Foundation of the infinite, right here. Cleaning. Clean your utensils. Cleaning my utensils. Okay. That's the way cabalist does the dishes. So from Jerusalem, from the low, totem is an idol, so I'll say the low, not the Kabbalah is an idol, God forbid, chas v'chalila. God forbid, low cabalist on the totem pole. So it's another thing, just to finish, one more thing. There's some people, they walk around the Kabbalists and holy and all that. You get to know them a little better. It turns out they're witches, they're warlocks. You gotta be careful of these types. And you gotta get to know them and see what kind of people they are and how they treat other people. And if you see any anger or perversity, they might be, it's either kosher, they just have problems. But if somebody is a disturbed, mentally deficient person, has an unusual interest in the dark side, discusses this kind of stuff a lot. But he's probably a nutcase, and it would be advisable to stay away from him. If you feel a witch or a warlock is disturbing you, give me a call, and I'll maybe if you're lucky, I'll write a little few Hebrew letters as a scientific study to see if it actually makes you feel better. Maybe a certain amount of placebo effect. However, I believe I'm a simple man with simple faith that believes that the words of the Torah are true. That goes to the Torah and the Talmud and the Kabbalah. So I believe that the letters of creation have an effect. I'm not a practical Kabbalist. I'm very careful about that. God, please don't test me, God. Practical Kabbalah is a very dangerous thing. It is forbidden. It's forbidden to use practical Kabbalah. However, using prayer and supplication and blessing is a wonderful thing. It's completely a priori permitted. It is permitted a priori to use the letters of the practical Kabbalah, the letters and the significant omens and so forth. And in the sense of that it's in weaving them into a prayer. You have a prayer, and when you weave into the prayer the letters of that God, the Betzalel knew the letters with which God used to create heaven and earth, the Hebrew alphabet. And you can use that in the form of a prayer, in the form of if desiring for goodness and holiness. And that received a psak, a legal ruling from a great Rabbi Kabbalist. He said, not just a Kabbalist, he's filled his belly with the Talmud for years. He knows the Talmud backwards and forwards. And he studied under the great rabbis in the yeshivot and learning the law. Also, clearly the Kabbalistic masters, and I've seen that he's a good person. And he's trustworthy, and he said, permitted. Practical Kabbalah is forbidden. Taking practical Kabbalah in the context of prayer, the point is the prayer and the supplication. The Kabbalah is less powerful. The more powerful is prayer. Lesson. And the letters of the practical Kabbalah, the letters of the Kabbalah assist in the prayer. So I want to bless you with a S Samach Vav Peh, soap, and the pad. Oh, but what's this? The soap and the pad. This is the foundation, the yesod. This is the infinite. Why? Because there's always more soap coming out. Never ends. And but if there's a vessel, vessels in the infinite is a theological discussion I won't get into. But anyhow, this soap is the infinite. Pad, which is the foundation. Spatula. Samach Peh, Tet, Vav, Lamed. Samach Peh. Is, again, the little less of the Ein Sof. Samach Peh without the Vav. Sof. Tula. Without the Vav would be, and the Vav moved over, but take out the Vav and you get Tal, 39, the dew. Dew dripping down from the infinite. Tal me'en sof, Tal notef metaftef me'en sof. Tal. This is the intermediary, the yesod. The yesod in the body is the intermediary between the man and woman. And so yesod always collects everything that comes from above. So so if the infinite has to go through the 10 sfirot, and it gets to the 9th sfirot, 9th from the top is yesod. And then it's completing the body. And then it's Malchut. Malchut is the connection of, this is Yesod Malchut right here. And back to a lower level of Samach Peh, which is already Adam Kadmon, which would be, because it doesn't have the Vav, it doesn't need the connection anymore, because it's already there. In Sof, it has the connection. In Sof. But then once it's already come down, it's already connected, so that's why the Vav isn't there. And the Sof, spatula. The Tal dripping down, the 39. 39 has the 39 Malachot. Shabbos, it goes down to the level of Shabbos, and Shabbos is Malchus also. And La. And La, as everybody knows, who knows, means no. Everybody who knows means no. Lo. Spatula, with an Aleph. What the lo is, I'm not going to speak anymore. That's the lo, spatula. So that's the whole concatenation, the hishtalshalut. Hishtalshalut means concatenation. Coming down to clean your vessels.